13 months ago, my little family, my wife, myself, and our 3-month-old baby at the time moved from Mississippi to California. And we came out here to be near family and join the film industry and work full-time as a freelance DP. And here we are, just over a year later. And somehow, we've still survived. And I feel like we've thrived. So I thought I'd talk about what's happened over the last year. I thought I'd show you all the effort that we put into it, show you what worked, what didn't, and maybe it'll be helpful for you. Real quick, I wanted to show you the lighting setup that we have here because it was sponsored by Zhiyun. I told them about this video I was going to be making and asked them if they could send me the B500. And they said, sure, we'd love to. It's a really interesting light because it's a 500 watt light and it's bicolor and it's incredibly small. Look how small it is compared to my 600D. It basically takes my normal lighting kit from looking like this to looking like this. Also, we've got the G300 over here. Awesome light, another one from Zhiyun. I love this light. It's so small, so portable, and very powerful and bright. So for the rest of the interview, you're gonna be seeing my face is key lit from the B500 and fill lit from the G300. You can kind of judge for yourself how it looks. I'm putting links to them in the description. I'm just very grateful for them. They've always been very generous with me. And with time, I've grown to like their lights more and more. So first off, came out here with no connections, just a little bit of gear. I had a Sony A7 III, a 24-70, and I had just bought an FS7. And then I also had some DZO film prime lenses. And that was pretty much it. Not a very competitive kit. And I knew I needed to get more competitive. So that was something weighing on my mind. Anyways, we jumped right into things. And the first thing that I did was create a YouTube channel. Hey, I'm Tommy Beal. I had seen what David Moorfield had been doing while I was living in Mississippi. And I thought it was brilliant. You make YouTube videos, the film industry isn't really that big. And before you know it, you're getting in front of the right people. So I thought I'd make a YouTube channel and document my journey of trying to figure it out. So this was me on my first day. And then as days went on, I kept trying more and more things. This is me walking into buildings with my camera. This is me going to meetings, business meetings, just trying to meet the right people. Then eventually I went to film meetups. And then I started DMing people. So people that looked cool, like I liked their work. It turns out, like, I didn't know what they would think of me, but it turns out people were pretty open to grabbing coffee. So I started DMing people that I thought were interesting or had nice work and grabbing coffee with them. And then I started making more and more videos and more and more videos. And then eventually someone hired me for a job. And someone else hired me for a job. And someone else hired me. And someone else. And someone else. And then someone else. And then I started taking the money and investing back in gear. And then I'd earn some more money and invest back in gear. And earn some more money and invest back in gear. And make more connections, more connections. Then I helped a friend host a meetup. And then I hosted my own meetup. Then me and 2 other friends hosted a meetup. And then we wrapped up the year. And here we are. So what exactly did I do? So these are the exact details, okay? So I added 11 videos to my portfolio. I made sure my portfolio looked great, and I've constantly revisited it to sharpen it up and shine it up, because when people are looking at hiring you, they always check your portfolio. And so across the last year, I added 11 pieces to it. Every shoot I could, I would take footage from and put on my portfolio and just really stay on top of that. On YouTube, we posted 45 videos, and that took me a total of 202 hours. I journal each day how I spend my time, so I know exactly what I did. That's where I get these numbers. So 202 hours spent editing, which is equivalent to 40 editing days. 40! I knew it was taking me a long time. And that's if an editing day is averaging 5 hours. That's a good editing day in my book. Anyways, 40 is mind-blowing. To me, like, I spent an entire month. And then we responded to 963 comments. And then we had 59 meetings with people in the industry. From coffee, lunch, a few on the phone. And those were well worth it. Then we did 7 passion projects. 3 were led by me, and the rest were led by other people. that was very, very valuable to me. Going into the next year, I'm definitely gonna keep pushing passion projects, because you make such meaningful connections when you do a passion project. The people on the project with you, you become friends with them, and you know what they're like to work with, and that's like so much better than just grabbing a coffee with them. It's amazing. Like you can actually recommend them to someone else. It's not like, I think they're good. It's like, oh yeah, I know they're good. I've worked with them. So passion projects are great. And then we hosted 3 meetups, hosted/co-hosted. So what worked from that? What did we get from that? You know, because you could do some of those things. You could do all of those things, but what would be worth doing? So here's what's interesting. We posted 45 YouTube videos, and from those 45 YouTube videos, we got 171,000 views, 2,407 subscribers, and 963 comments. Directly and indirectly, 20% of my income came from the YouTube channel. Next up, we hosted 3 meetups. Around 80 to 90 people came out to those 3 meetups in total, and 39% of my income came from those events. Isn't that interesting? Then finally, we had 7 passion shoots. One of these got 115,000 views on Instagram. That was in January of last year. It's this short soccer documentary. It's still on my Instagram if you want to see it. And others built strong friendships and taught me new skills. I think it's hard to measure the results exactly of passion projects. But I definitely had the deepest friendships form because of those passion projects. So there's meaning there. Anyways, isn't that kind of interesting though? That more of my income came from hosting and co-hosting 3 meetups than came from posting 45 videos on YouTube. Isn't that interesting? And then to sum it all up, my worst quarter of the year was my first quarter, is Q1, and I netted $1,000 across the whole quarter. And then my best quarter of the year was Q3, and I netted $19,114. Net. The profit was incredibly slim on that, but net. The thing is, that much money came through our bank account, and most of it went away to gear. But for me, that was a pretty big win, and this year has actually turned out to be the most. This year I've seen the most amount of income that I've ever seen in my life, in my career as an adult. So that's cool. Now profit, it's probably one of the slimmest ever, but income, it was good. So that to me is exciting because that's growth. So there we have it. What do we take from that? And how's it going to affect me going into 2025? You can take it and learn from it and use that information however you want. One thing that I feel like the numbers don't really tell accurately is how well the YouTube channel helped me break into the industry and how well it helped me make new connections. That was kind of invaluable. Having people send me a DM on Instagram and say, hey, I watched your YouTube video, let's grab a coffee. That happened many times, and that was very, very helpful. So I think for connecting with other freelancers and sometimes production companies, but mainly connecting with other freelancers, YouTube is great at that, especially these kind of videos that are focused on gear and working lifestyle. So anyways, my plans going into 2025, first off, I'm starting a production company. Having 59 industry meetings and then also having a small family has influenced that decision. Just seeing where the industry is going and seeing who's doing well and who's doing not so well has really shown me that small crews are the future for most of us. I don't think big crews will ever go away, but most jobs are getting swapped out for small crews, and very large companies are going for the small crews now. I'm currently working on a job with a very major video game company, and I'm just kind of shocked that they would ask me to put a team together. They asked me to put an AV team together for an event, and so I have been, and that's happening next week. But I'm just shocked, like, you would think they're like a massive company. If I tell you their top video game, I guarantee pretty much every one of you would recognize it. But I would have thought they would have like some massive in-house team or something, but they hire freelancers and they hire small production companies. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. I'm creating a small production company and I'm going to hire my friends to pull off cool jobs. And that leads me to my second plan for 2025. And that's going to be to grab coffee with as many people who can hire me as possible. So this last year I focused on grabbing coffee with as many people in the film industry as possible. And that's been great, especially for building up good connections and good people to work with and good people that I can hire now. But going into the next year, I'm shifting. Now I want to meet with heads of marketing department. I want to meet with social media coordinators. And there's so many local large companies that have people in these roles. I think if I take the same attitude, it might work. And it makes it approachable for me because I don't like being salesy. I like grabbing coffee with people and I like hearing their story and I like connecting with them and just becoming friends. And so I want to take that attitude and just shift audiences. So instead of going after freelancers, now we're going after people who work in marketing, people who could hire a small production team. And I met a lady at a film meetup recently. It was like an invite only one that I got to go to in Oakland. Thanks to my friend Andy Haney. He like brought me as his +1. And I met someone from Meta there, Facebook, and she was telling me she wanted my contact info and wanted to see some of my work because she said, "Hey, we hire small production companies all the time. We love doing it. We have these like team meetings and we'll talk about styles and do we know anyone who has this kind of style who could pull this off, and they'll throw a name in, and that small company will get hired." So I didn't realize it was that doable. So I think it's time to do it. So anyways, that's going to be my next focus going into the next year. And then my third focus is, this is like a target for me. I'm not going to obsess over it, but this is my target. My target is to have an average quarterly profit of $25,000. Not net, but profit, which honestly sounds like a lot, but so that would total $100,000 for the year profit. It sounds like a lot, but with a family of 3 and we have a 4th one on the way, living in the Bay Area, it's a modest income. So it's a big jump for me from last year, but I think we could do it. So those are my plans going into 2025. That's how I'm taking that information and kind of running with it. If you're thinking about making a YouTube channel, I would definitely recommend it if you're a freelancer. I've gotten a lot of value out of it as a freelancer, but I think as a production company, the amount of value you get out of it diminishes unless you change your kind of content. Like this content is focused on gear and behind the scenes on shoots and things like that, which I like to watch and other freelancers like to watch. But I don't think that heads of marketing departments and stuff are really looking up those kind of videos as much. I think they probably watch a different kind of video. So I could either make a whole new channel with that, or I could just focus on meeting the right people. So I think going forward, my focus is going to just be on connecting with the right people, and we'll see what happens. So that probably means I'm not going to be posting on here much more. So I wanted to say thank you to all of you who've watched these videos and just become my friends. I'm so grateful for you. This journey has been beautiful, and I'm so glad I got to take you on the first year of it. Let's stay friends. Add me on Instagram, send me a message. And yeah, I care about you. I want to see this industry do well. And I'm hoping that through starting my own production company, I can drum up more business for all of us. So I love you guys. I'm rooting for you guys. Let's make this industry thrive. I hope this was helpful. Yeah. Bye. Bye for now. Love you.